The old track's 40 years old. She looks great. Thank you, Lehigh County, for taking care of it and assisting in the upkeep of this place. It's a fantastic venue. It serves not only Lehigh County but the world.
The world. And there you see Marty talking to a couple of tandem riders, the executive director out here, also a great rider, and they've changed some things here. They have a couple intermissions. Fans get to come out and compete in some little competitions like all sporting events today, make it a little more fan friendly. And this is going to be big here, though, the Tandemonium. Now, Gil, you've done this with our track announcer. Art McHugh is there. Just give us a bit of an idea, maybe the first time. Do you remember being on a tandem for the first time and what that feels like?
I did, and when I first came back here, when the Velodrome began in 1976, I was competing on the back of Jerry the Gentle Giant Ash, and we did 2 world championships together. And that was the first time, and again, going down that backstretch all out, I was sitting in the back, and thank goodness I was, because all I did was close my eyes and pedal my rear end off, and that's what I did, and wish for the best. But I've driven with Art. I want to say we won twice out here, and you're going down the backstretch, and that turn is coming up really quick. And again, the little facts about the bicycle: they weigh about 50 pounds. They're about, I'm going to guess, about almost 50 inches in length, and most of them are made of steel. And with the 2 riders and the bike combined, we're talking about 400 pounds of mass going down about 40-45 miles an hour.
So, folks, you're going to see, take some work. It is indeed Tandemonium as the riders work in sync. And Gil was mentioning before the show, so we had a chance to talk to riders, have been practicing. You're not just going to jump on the bike.
There's my
look
back.
At Art.
There's the stoker, Art the Dart McHugh, Hall of Famer here.
And there we have 2 teams now going in and out. They'll do 4 laps, and the winners will advance, correct?
Yes, they do. One thing about the tandem, I mean, if you're riding the back and you have some type of motorcycle riding experience, it helps a lot. Art is a really good motorcycle rider, so it was very easy. And again, it's a team type event. You have to ride similar styles and kind of in the same type of motion, or else the bike just doesn't want to go forward. For example, you have the back guy leaning left, the front guy leaning right, and the bike just stays still. So
you have to
keep it in sync.
It reminds me a little bit of like a 2-man bobsled too, where one guy's kind of in there, they push, and then they kind of huddle together. And you're going to see this there. A great camera shot coming down turn number 1. And look how close the crowd is to our riders with 3 laps to go. And again, now it's 2 guys thinking as one, because we look at these sprints when it's 1 guy on the bike, difficult enough. But now they have to communicate. You would have had to communicate with Art on the bike, correct?
Yes, I would. Art would be usually looking back and talking to me, left or right, stay high, pick it up. Mostly the front guy is driving the bike, and he's focusing on keeping that bike straight and riding a good line, because once again, there's a lot of centrifugal force on the bike track. It wants to throw you right up against the banking, so you have to hold that baby down and really start pumping it out.
Hey, if I was on that bike, first of all, I'd be in the back, and secondly, that front guy better be watching, because I'd be scared running the back of that thing.
I've had a lump in my throat a few times, I must say. It gets a little bit hairy back there at times.
And here they go. They're heading down turn number 2.
Taking off. Team number 1, Aldridge and Robinson, looks like. And we have Boss and Rotherham from England chasing. Boss and Rotherham qualified first, only 20 thousandths of a second faster than the second team. They're kicking it. Boy, they're closing quick. Look at that. Look at the power they have. They shut it down, and they're just going to just float by and take round 1.
Boss and Rotherham win it and give a wave to the crowd. as they were coming across. But boy, you can see that down the backstretch, Gil, how close they were working and how much juice they were putting into those pedals.
They had some acceleration, some real acceleration on the bike. Once again, we're talking 400 pounds. You know, Rotherman's a big, here we go. So we're coming into turn 2. They shake a little bit, and they're coming right by, float up. Boss is a really good driver. These kids have been practicing for 3 weeks. Don't even live near each other, and they've just put it together, and they look really good. They were #1 qualifiers. They rode flying 1 lap in 17 seconds, .63.
Now, and you saw there, Boss leading it. He was as still as you could be on that bike coming around the turn, whereas in the back there was a little room, it looked like, for movement on the part of Rotherham.
There is, and again, Rotherham's a big boy.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a very thick guy. You can tell he's in the gym, but Boss seems to be a really good driver. Maybe he's experienced. I'm not sure his background in Holland, but he knows. It looks like he knows what he's doing. So, once again, that looked really interesting.
And another Gary Blockus here tonight from the morning call, covering Valley Preferred Cycling Center, as he always does in his article. A look at Gary. Looks like he's taking some photos. Maybe that'll be in the paper this weekend or next weekend. You'll have to take a look at Gary's features. But he noted too, Gil, that really there's almost a sizing factor when you're putting teams together too. You have to be careful of the weight of both of the riders and the height of both of the riders, which to me was interesting.
You want it to be, again, cycling's about aerodynamics, so you want to be somewhat level and equal. Again, we have Diefenbach and Williams in the black. They were second qualifiers. They're 20 thousandths of a second, a little bit slower than Boss and Rotherham. And we have a local team of Wagner from New York, Mark Wagner, and Andrew Brenneman.
So here they come around.
Yeah, we'll see what's happening. It looks like, and again, gear ratios come into play. You see the feet of Diefenbach and Williams. They're basically like they're tied together. They're one stroke. Each foot is, look at that. Yep. Up and down, up and down. They're a team. It's almost like a double rowing team in a boat. Their stroke is the same.
And that is Wagner and Brennan behind them. But you see now pulling out here, Diefenbach and Williams look like kind of pressing that lead. But boy, as you note every week, when you're on top of that track, you can make up some ground with that banking.
And look at that. Wagman and Brenneman jumped underneath. Diefenbach and Williams, they got a little bit of a gap, about 2 tandems. Let's see what Diefenbach and Williams do. Looks like they're not going to come in.
Pistons going with 1 lap to go. Can they hold them off?
1 lap to go. Looks like Diefenbach and Williams are just idling along. Let's see what happens. They're stacked it up, coming into 200. They're level. Diefenbach and Williams goes right by. And again, they're the second qualifiers. And they shut it down. They're just coasting now.
Diefenbach and Williams now, they knew they had to make a move early there, it looked like.
Well, they wanted to, and again, it's a lot of mass. You have to try to get passing zones are turn 2, which is the 200-meter mark, and turn 4, that's the last turn, is what we call 2 and 4, and those are the best places to pass.
And here's the look.
Here's the replay. We have Diefenbach going through 1 and 2, and they're going side by side at 200 right there, and they're coming right by. They're coming by with 5 miles an hour more. They just shut it down.
And here come the pro men now, out onto the track.
I think this final between Boss and Rotherman and Williams and Diefenbach is going to be a doozy.